I can't hear you, but it's 12 o'clock. We can start, and it's a wonderful day. Happy Friday, everyone. I will still give 1 or 2 minutes to start, but before we start, just wanted to give little bit background for me. So I am Sujata, and I am in the software industry for more than 16 years. I work in the GTA place, and where I am working with the financial industry like bank, insurance for almost 10 years over here in GTA. I started my career as a developer, and then I quickly moved to the Agile space where I worked on in different roles, BSA, Scrum Master, and Agile Coach for a long period of time. So I thought that while practicing OKR with multiple companies, it's good to have something, share with everyone. So that's a little bit about me. I am here in Toronto. It's weather is nice. It's Friday time. Like it's more like you can go out and have a fun Friday. It's good to know that like from where people are joining. If you feel free to put it in the chat so that I know from where people are joining. So I will just give 1 or 2 more minutes before we start. And just some couple of housekeeping stuff. If you are not speaking, put yourself on mute. And this meeting will be recorded. So Divya will share the link also for this one. And if you have any question, feel free to ask me. I will be quickly share my presentation. So this session will be, in this session, we will go through that. What is OKR? What does that mean? A little bit of background of OKR, how it started, characteristics of OKR, why do we define it? What are the benefits that you are going to get it from there? And then we will quickly move to that. How do we define OKR? How do we write OKR? What is the format for that? And in organization, what are the different type of OKR they generally do it? And then on the fifth, I thought that how about giving you some example, like in the organization, which is big enough and there are multiple layers available, how do we do the strategic alignment via OKR? Then we will talk about that OKR tracking, how we do it, like how we measure the progress of the OKR. And last, we will discuss that how it is different from KPI, because people if in the industry will see that they will be using this word OKR and KPI very interchangeably. So it's good to know the difference between OKR and KPI. Any questions before we start? And last 10 minutes will be given to questions. So if you guys have any question related to this, feel free to ask me. So now first one, what is OKR? So OKR is a goal setting tool that we use for individual, team, or organization to measure the goal and track their outcome. So it is the benefit that organization get is it creates the transparency because you are defining the goal, what we are going to do it, engagement within the team member, and it also drives the team member to what we want to achieve. And it is like it's always clear as a goal perspective what is the organization overall ambitious look like. So it started in 1970 where Andrew Grove started in a company called Intel, and it quickly became popular over there. And from there, John Doerr, who used to work in Intel, brought it into Google in 1990s. And that's how it became very popular, where Google's growth actually achieved almost 10 times than using the OKR framework. And then it's quickly moved on to that all the other companies started actually using OKR framework like LinkedIn, Twitter, Uber, Microsoft, GitLab. Many companies now using the OKR framework to set up their organization goal. Even in the GTA area, many banks and also insurance companies started using the OKR. They start in the defining the OKR and they also measure their progress towards OKR. Now, what OKR is that, as the name stands for, it's a O stands for the objective and K stands for key result. As simple as that. Now, what does that mean when we say that objective and key result? So generally organization wise, what we do it's we define the objective. What is the significant and concrete goal that organization wants to achieve? Where do we want to go? What do we want to achieve? What our goal looks like? You define it. It can be one goal, two goal. Most of the time, organization define 3 to 5 objectives for them. And each and every objective, you also specify that what is the success criteria look like for that objective. So you know that you are saying that, okay, you know what, I want to increase the revenue. Then how we will know that you increase it or not? So you create the success criteria. Then when you achieve that goal, you know that you actually made that objective. So those are for each and every objective, you define multiple key results for that. And where the initiative is the work object that is linked to that objective and key result. That means that to achieve that goal, how you will go there. So what are the different activities that you are going to do so that you can go and achieve the key result. Now, for the next one, so each and every time when we'll talk about OKR, we'll talk about objective, key result, and the work item, which is initiative in the organization level. We talk about that. Now, characteristics of OKR. OKR always will have by reading the OKR, you will understand that what is the strategic goal of the organization. What is the focus that organization is doing, a focus area and the priority of the organization. How you as an individual add value for your effort. And it is always, while creating a proper, clear OKR, objective and key result, you are actually creating transparency and alignment throughout the all organization level. And also, it can help you to aim higher. And it is one of the also key characteristics of OKR is it always brings a positive change, because everybody is working towards a 1 or 2 goal that is organization focused on. And it should be challenging, because you should not set your goal. It's very easy to achieve. So it should be challenging and inspiring both. Now, this one, we will probably keep a little bit more time on this slide, because this is like how you are writing OKR. So for OKR writing, when you will do it in the organization or individual, wherever you do it, you write it in the format. That means that you first define objective, and then you define that what is the key result associated with that objective. Now, what if objective is always qualitative? That means that a qualitative statement that you are writing it, where you are defining what you are going to achieve and why you are going to achieve. It should have both the information. That means that you are saying that what is you are going to do it and why, what is the purpose of doing it. It starts with the action verb, increase, decrease, or improve, whatever action or verb you want to put it, and then what exactly that you are going to do. Along with that why statement, what is the value or benefit that while doing action you will going to get it. While key result, on the other hand, is always has to be quantitative. That means it has to be measurable. Not only that, you always provide that exactly what you want to measure. That means that you are going to measure the decrease, that, for example, decrease average processing time. You also share that what is the base and what is the target that you want to do it. And it also should provide you what is the correct timeline associated with it. So let's see that this example, how it is stating it here. So increase the speed of processing, form processing, to improve client onboarding process. And where you are defining 3 key results associated with it. One is that you are decreasing the processing time. So you are saying that by decreasing the processing time, you are actually increasing the processing fee, which is your overall goal. Also, you are also measuring another key result, which is that auto fulfillment, which is you are saying that I want to increase the auto fulfillment percentage. Also, you can say that form cancellation also, I want to decrease the percentage for that. So key notes while defining the key result. while baseline and target, you can define it multiple ways. You can define it in scale, percentage, in count, in dollar amount, any way you want it to, which makes sense, you can define it. But it also, you need to make sure that not only that baseline and target value that you need to define, you also need to define when you want to achieve. So it can be quarterly, it can be annually. We will go more in the later slide, but you completion date is as important in define the target. So this is in nutshell how we write the OKR in the organization and individual. So you have to define, this is a simple format. You define action verb, what you are doing, why you are doing, what you are measuring, what is the baseline value, what is the target value, and what is the timeline associated with it. Now, while we are doing it, you can have many different kind of OKR. You can have company-wide OKR, you define like this. You can define departmental-wise OKR. You can also define the team level OKR. You also can define individual OKR, stage OKR. So many organizations use OKR in the different level. I have worked in the organization where they only define OKR in the strategy and or execution level, not in the department level or the team level, but there are organizations which goes down in a multiple different levels. Now let's compare with the example while people writing OKR, what is the good OKR and what is the, like probably vague OKR looks like, goal looks like. So one organization where it states that improve financial performance and profitability and be considered one of the top provider. So in this example, if you see that there is I highlighted and. What does that mean is when you are stating a goal where there is multiple objective defined, then consider that you are not stating which one is priority. Your priority is improving the financial performance, or your priority is it that becoming the top. So when you are defining objective, make sure that you are stating only one objective in per OKR. Now, target here, if you see the target, implement the 9 most critical projects with highest return of investment. If you see that first target, first KR, if you write like this, the problem statement here is you are actually not writing the outcome. You are just stating it, what are the activity that you are doing it. So you clearly, rather than writing the output or activities in the key result, define that what is the outcome that you are looking from it. Second one that you can say that achieve significant revenue growth in top of our 2 product. If you see the second one, it is little bit vague because you are not defining what is your top 2 product. While reading it throughout the organization, people may get confused. What are the 2 products I'm looking for significant growth? And what does even significant growth looks like? It's not clearly defined yet. Third one, if you see that launch, we hear you marketing campaign to improve our profitability. But now you are not defining it. What does it mean? Why we want to launch a marketing campaign? What is the benefit we are going to get it? So this is one of the examples. If you do it, probably there is a better way to define OKR. So that's why in the right side, if you see that, that is a similar example. You can see that how you can write it in the different way and more, I will say that transparent and strategic towards the organization, and where you are defining clear priority. So first one, objective, you can write it, improve financial performance and profitability in the personal group area, where you are defining which area that you wanted to create profit. You are defining the area so that people know that what is my goal, which area is my focused area. And why we are doing it to increase our financial stability and opportunity of market growth. So here in this objective, first, you are focused on the area, you are focused on that why we are doing it. Both the statements are clear. Now, if you see the key result where you are saying that properly key result, where you are defining it, what I want to do is sales growth in the new policies, where what is my baseline and what is my target that I wanted to do it by which day. So similarly, second one also, you can say that transaction error rate, I want to reduce, what is my baseline and what is my target and when we want to do it. Net income ratio, again, you wanted to do it, increase it, and by which time you can specify that. So writing a good OKR is very important, along with the understanding it, so that make sure that when you are doing any workshop with the team, we are writing the baseline, we are writing what we want to achieve and by when. One of the common thing that I noticed, that while people writing the OKR, with many people are not comfortable with stating the baseline because they don't even know what is the baseline. And it can happen in the organization when you are defining it. So you can give some time, probably sometimes organization give 1 quarter just to get the baseline number. So if you say that my need 45% to 70%, some organization may not even know that what it's 40%, 45 or 35%. So you can give some time. You can get that first 1 quarter to come up with a what is your baseline number, so that you know that what is your target looks like, and that is perfectly acceptable. Now, type of OKR. What are the different type of OKR? There, like, one is a committed OKR, another is aspiration OKR. Where committed OKR are mostly which are realistic, and you know that this is what is my focus area looks like, this is where we will go, and this is what I wanted to achieve, and I'm comfortable with that. It's not hard, it is achievable always. Where aspirational is what is your stretch goal. It's you may achieve or you may not achieve, so it's part of your stretch goal. Committed OKR, where you are focused on your steady progress and growth. So you know that this is what I want to do it, and I'm 100% sure I can achieve this OKR. Where aspirational OKR is you are pushing yourself beyond your comfort zone. This is what I want to achieve, but I'm not sure. So their success mean is if you even achieve 60 or 70% of that OKR, you are still good, because that is aspirational. You are stretching yourself to achieve that. Now, organization which is starting their writing OKR typically start with the committed OKR. And when they mature, a mature organization, they are comfortable with writing committed OKR, then they move on to the writing the aspiration OKR. And the benefit of getting the aspirational OKR is writing aspirational OKR, your potential growth is always gain is more in aspirational OKR. And why is that? Think about that. If you write that I want to increase, for example, site visit by 30%, you know that probably I'm pretty sure I will definitely going to get that 30% site visit increase. Okay, I write it and 100% I achieved it. But if you can put yourself aspirational OKR, like I wanted to increase the site visit, not 30%, I want to write it 80%. And you know that I may achieve, I may not achieve. And you are pushing yourself hard. And that time, if you increase the site visit even if by 60%, then you are still actually achieve 60 or 70% of your aspirational OKR percentage, and your potential result is now increased from 35, which was your initial goal for committed, to the 60%. So your potential gain is always more when you write the aspiration OKR, because you try to push yourself hard with a stretch goal. So here a couple of examples for the aspiration OKR versus committed OKR. So committed OKR is more, you are defining very hard, clearly 10%, for example, 10% retention of the customer retention for next quarter, where you are saying that key result, increasing the loyalty program purchase by 15%, reducing the time of the customer inquiry 20%. Very clear, you have confidence on it that I can do it, and it's clearly defined, you can do it, that those are the committed OKR. Where aspirational OKR, it is more like innovative. What is your ambitious look like? You are writing that, like, for example, one of the example for that is achieve your market leadership in innovative product offering. So you know that you want to achieve, that's why, but you may not know what you want to do it. So launch your 3 groundbreaking product feature are unique to the market. You don't know, you may not know that what are the 3 product you are achieving. So that time you can say that is my aspiration, I may or may not achieve. So it's good to start with the committed one and then move to the aspirational one when you are comfortable and mature on the committed OKR. So here is more on that characteristics. Doesn't matter how you write the committed versus aspirational. OKR has to be always defining the goal and what is your intention looks like. It's your objective should be always clear and what is the value it is bringing to the organization. And it has to be realistic. It's like focusing on only 2 or 3 objectives, not all the different things, that so that you know that what is your priority looks like. And objectives always need to tied up with key result. Not stating that just stating the objective may not be sufficient. You also need to write it down how you need to go there, how do you measure that you reached to the objective. And one of the things that typically organization, which is anti-pattern, people generally write that what are the initiative they are doing it, they write down that as an objective. It should not be like that. It should not be that your initiative name or the project name that you are doing it. Objective should be focused on your goal, that your organization goal that you want to achieve, not your initiative or project name. While key result is that you always should be outcome, not the activity or output. Example for that one is, you cannot, like, it should not be that like you are writing, I wanted to finish this task as a key result. It should not be that. You should describe that by finishing that task, what is the outcome that you are achieving. By doing this task, probably I will increase the automation percentage by this percent, then that will be your key result rather than list of activity that you are going to do it. Key result should be always quantitative and it should be always time bound. That means specify by which time you wanted to achieve that key result. And key result always will be aspirational, but it should be attainable. That means you can actually get that, what the key result look like. I think I'm just checking the question now a little bit before I move on to the cycle, OKR cycle. Yes, I will be sharing this presentation. No problem with this one. Is any other question before I move on to the OKR cycle? Okay. Oh, Frederick. Yeah, you can ask, Frederick.
Hi, Sujata. Just a quick question here. So, OKRs, and as you're presenting them, it's clearly for organizational goals as you're laying out here. But I was wondering, as I've seen this, I was wondering if they can also be about products as well.
Yeah, it can be also product, because sometimes, and I will go later in the slide, I can show it to you. It can be the product based, it can be the department based, and product based you do it when you create a business unit that is product based, and then that product, the OKR of that business unit, and I will go on the different level of in the latter slide. They actually define that OKR based on that product they wanted to improve. So it is like different level of the OKR. When you go to the different level, like for example, strategy, execution, solution level, based on that which level you are, it can be product based, it can be organization based. And I will go surely show you in the later slide when we have the different level. Probably that time it will be much clearer. This is not just a starting that defining OKR, what does that mean? And this concept you can apply in the product level, organization level, team level, any level that you want.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah. Catherine?
Do you recommend setting OKRs not just at the group level or the organization level that you mentioned, but how about for the entire enterprise for a large scale organization?
Yes, and I get like it's a very like exactly to answer your question, we have a slide for that. Yes, it does with the organization level, and I will go in details when we'll go to the latter slide. It start with that strategic intent, what the strategic intent looks like, and based on that, organization create that organization level OKR, what their OKRs looks like, and then based on that organization OKR, so organization set level, you set it up. You know what, for my organization, these are the areas that I want to improve. I want to improve revenue, I want to improve customer satisfaction, I want to our process oriented, I want to improve my agility or efficiency within the system. You can create the strategic intent, and then you can create the defining the what is your OKR look like organization level. Now, based on when you define it in organization level, 2 or 3 objective and corresponding result that you are looking for. And reason why we say it sometimes strategic intent, because that time you may not know that organization level goal you are doing it in 1 year or 2 years. That's why you define their intent, what is your intention looks like. And then different department that they want, they take that as a strategic intent, and they define their OKR, which is aligning those strategic intent. For example, I wanted to create the processing efficiency within the organization. Then probably the quality team will go and say that, okay, how about improve the automation percentage? So based on that intent, or some organization does the OKR in the strategy level too. Different product team creates their own OKR, which is aligning to organization level OKR. And couple of example, probably I can even send you guys offline if you guys need, organization versus product. Reason why I didn't put it in there, because it's like from company information, but I can make it generic and share with you for sure. But yes, we have different level.
Who are the stakeholders that define the enterprise OKRs? Is currently is set up in a way where is really the CIO that's defining the objective, but it's a blanket vanilla for everyone to follow, which doesn't, so it's not customized.
It is different label, your stakeholders are different. And when I will go to the slide, probably that time it will be clear, because I think multiple people has these questions, and that's why I put it in the slide where different labels are there. But coming to your actual question, which are the stakeholder, like for the strategy level, which is our highest level, where is CTO define that what is our strategic intention or strategic themes looks like. That is defined by CTO. Where is that SVP and VP who is working with them, they, based on that strategic intent, they define that their objective and key result for that, to which is actually aligning with the strategy, that strategy. Then product group level, it can be AVP or VP who is taking that SVP level OKR for that whole business group and creating their product level OKR. So different level, and for example, strategy level, when CTO level, when you are saying that is always strategic theme and intent rather than it's saying at the OKR. Where SVP level, it is where you are, it's a business group, overall business group that defines that OKR, which is yearly OKR or annual OKR, and they create multi-year roadmap for that. And where the product team who is working on that, AVP and VP, who takes those OKRs, they can create their annual OKR, which is aligning to the SVP OKR, or they also can break down with the quarterly OKR, which is actually feeding to the annual OKR. And we have a slide to cover those, but just to say that it's most of the time they defining that you are working with that corresponding different level has different stakeholder, CTO, then SVP, VP, but with the team measuring of it, because one is you are defining, another thing is you are measuring and checking that are you progressing towards the OKR or not. That generally other team member, like different organization has different role for that. We'll quickly talk about that in the end of this webinar. They do the measure and they do the measurement via different work item, and they share that how we are progressing to the stakeholders, that one. And we do that, horizontal and vertical. That's also another important concept, that we do the alignment of the OKR. When you are defining OKR in multiple layers, you need to make sure that you are doing the horizontal and vertical alignment of the OKR. What does that mean is, when I say the word horizontal alignment, vertical alignment, that means that from strategy group, when you are going through that execution solution, if I think about the different labels in the SAFe. For example, strategy, then execution, solution, multiple art, and art level. You are defining, if you are defining OKR in the multiple level, you are making sure that this alignment of the OKR should be there. That means one is working on quality and another working on processing improvement. It should not be like that. It should be all are aligning to the similar goal. Second, where we are saying that that is your vertical alignment, where we are doing that horizontal alignment. That means that you are aligning your objective with your stakeholder partners. So if there are multiple product group working together constantly and dependent, their OKR has to be aligned with each other. That means that whatever work item because if you don't do it, because they're working together and they are dependent team, different product team, then their goals will be different, because all the OKR, that goal you are different doing it. Based on that, you are creating your work item, you are creating your initiative, you are creating feature which is aligning with OKR. If you don't align that, do the vertical and horizontal alignment, different product team versus strategy and execution group, in that case, your work item, their people's priority will be different. Okay. Now, moving on to that OKR cycle. OKR,
Hey,
like once, yeah.
sorry, I had a question and I put it in the chat. If you don't mind answering that. So do you have any case study or an article which tells us how the OKRs flow from strategic level to the product level to the team level?
I have a slide for that. I knew that this
Awesome.
is going to come.
Okay.
I have a slide for that, because you know what, this one is, I personally feel that whatever, you can Google it, you can get it, and I get that one. One of the things that people looking from webinar is given a practical example that I can follow, right? And of course, I made it very simpler way where you can see it. But when I go to the slide, probably you can ask me the question related to that, then probably I can answer it better, because anyways, I'm going to cover that one.
That is awesome. Thank you.
Okay, so OKR cycle. This one is once you set up the OKR, how you wanted to make sure that what I will do after that. Okay, so you set up the OKR, you need to make sure that that OKR that you set up, that you have that alignment that I talked about, that horizontal and vertical alignment. You talk with your stakeholder, share with them, say that I am working towards this OKR and this is a feature and or initiative or whatever work item, which level you are aligning with that, and this is what my work item plan look like. Then you plan that work item. So based on that, what is the feature you are working, you plan that feature, then you execute that one, and then you measure, okay, you know what, I did this feature, it should now do some positive impact on my key result. Let's measure it and see that did I achieve the way I wanted to do it. And then based on that, you get the feedback and you go and set up for the next one. So this is a whole cycle that goes, you set up, you share the information, you align it, then you plan that what work item that you need to do it, you execute, you review the output with your stakeholder and your you know, who are the person who is setting it up, and then you move on to the next one. And we will go slowly talk in details on that one, organizational level. Now, this one is annual versus quarterly OKR. So we define in the organization both annual and quarterly OKR. And reason for defining quarterly OKR is I will take an analogy, like when you have an epic, you try to break in the smaller story so that you can see that how you are progressing towards the epic, right? Very simple Scrum concept. Similar to that, when you are setting up the annual OKR, it is probably a big goal, how you would now you wanted to break down in the smaller chunk in the quarterly to achieve that OKR. What are the quarterly OKR that I need to do it to achieve that? And in the quarterly OKR, you can do it in the 2-3 different ways. You can take it just that, for example, if I wanted to reduce 20 to 10%, I can say that quarterly OKR, every quarter I want to do 2% down. That can be fine. Also, people write totally different quarterly OKR. For example, I want to launch three new product. Your quarterly OKR can be, let's do the customer study to understand what is the pain point and create something that is aligned to customer pain point. That can be a quarterly OKR too, aligning with your annual OKR. So people use quarterly OKR to show that you can see that your track of the progress and how you are going to that processing towards your annual OKR. So how now, organization wise, you first create the multi-year strategic goal. What does your goal look like? Strategic intent. Then you create that. Based on that, what is your annual OKR look like? What is your yearly OKR? And you prioritize that those are your yearly OKR. Then you break down here in the third, what is the, based on that, what is your quarterly OKR looks like? Then you define that based on the quarter, what are the features associated with that on that quarterly OKR. You do your quarterly planning, which is the PI planning. You prioritize the work on that one. Then you deliver that work. Then you, based on that feature delivery, you see that what is the progression or happen on that one, and you evaluate on your impact. So quarterly, generally teams does quarterly, monthly, both places. You measure that what is your progression towards OKR, and you define that did you achieve quarterly the OKR you wanted to do it. The whole purpose of shorter goal cycle, which is quarterly OKR, you can do based on the feedback, that feedback loop you created here, you can actually do the adjustment. Are you on track to achieve annual OKR or not? And you can adopt your process, adopt your feature. You can prioritize your feature based on that, what quarterly achievement that you have done in the previous quarter. So it's just the same concept. The bigger work, you are breaking it down the smaller chunk, and based on that, how much you worked on that, you adjust your path and you plan it, what is the next quarter looks like. So this one was a slide. I made it much simpler way, and I will probably put a little bit of time to go through this one, and probably then it will be much easier to you guys to be comfortable with it. So this one is very, levels are very similar words from the SAFe, but you can, different companies have the different level. They can say it's like, just think about that, you have multiple different levels in the organization, where I will probably start with the small one, where art, which is the team level, and you have the release train, where you have one level, and on top of that, where solution layer, you have it, where you have multiple train working on the solution, where portfolio or execution value stream layer, where you have the SVP or VP related to that, where enterprise level, you can think about that is a layer where you have CTO or those people, like C-level executives are here. So if you think about the 4 layers, let me make it much clearer and giving an example. This layer is enterprise, is your C-level executive, portfolio value stream is your probably SVP, those. Solution layer is your VP, AVP looks like, and art is most of the time product or the platform owners or something like that, product or whoever is the multiple teams working on it, that you can say as art. Now, how, when you create a strategic theme, this side, if you see this side in your right side, these are the tickets. I will say that probably most of the people use Atlassian Jira, how you use it in your work item, how different layer use the different work item, where your left-hand side, I try to put together how that your intention of the goal flowing from one level to another level. One is that in this left-hand side, you are doing the alignment, where the right-hand side, you are thinking that how you are delivering that goal. Here you are setting up the goal and objective and you know what you want to do it. And here in the right-hand side, you are doing what are the exact activity I'm going to do it to achieve that goal. So enterprise level, you define that multi-year strategic intention. Though it's not that 1 year, this is what I want to do. You say that this is what that areas that I want to focus on. These are the 3 or 4 areas, not more than that. Not the exactly what I'm going to do, not everything you put it there. What for next couple of years, what are your focus area in the enterprise level, organization level, and exactly what you wanted to achieve for that. And if anyone wants to have that example, want to have the example how the strategic intent even look like, just message me offline and reach out to me. I can give you a couple of examples for that. And for enterprise level, you define that what is your strategic intention look like and what are the area you want to cover. And based on that, you create strategic theme in enterprise level. Now, under that, you have the portfolio level, which is the value stream. Sometimes some companies say that execution level, whatever it is, you can say it. Then based on that strategic intent, that layer creates your what is your objective and corresponding key result. And based on this theme, different portfolio create different OKR for themselves, which is aligning to the exact strategic intent in the enterprise level. And then you create the 1-year OKR and multi-year roadmap, where multi-year roadmap, you are defining what are the initiative. You define the initiative there, what is linked, that is linked to OKR. For example, I can say that if I were thinking of, I wanted to improve efficiency. In that case, you define an initiative, which is actually probably moving the server from one place to another, which is actually much faster processing. So that is one of the initiative which is tied up with your OKR that you are trying to achieve in the portfolio layer. Then it goes down in the solution layer. Solution layer, where you define that same, based on that you can have one portfolio, multiple solution, which you can say as a product. You can define product here, you can define product art. Different companies does it a different way. But in much simpler terms, that in the solution layer where you define 1-year OKR, and you also define to achieve that 1-year OKR, what is your quarterly OKR looks like. And there you actually define the capability which are linked to the initiative. So to achieve this initiative, what are the different capability that you are doing it? It can happen one portfolio have multiple solution and one initiative is tied up with the multiple capability for each and every solution. And each capability should link to that corresponding OKR that solution level is defining for themselves. Now, under that, you have art, which is much simpler. Now you are doing your PI planning, where you are defining what is the feature that you want to do it and what is the story that you want to do it. And that is also, you know, that this feature is aligned to this capability, and that is how you are, what OKR it is targeting to. Now, team level, on art level, some teams goes down, some organization goes down OKR art level, but it is too granular to go down in the team level. So generally, it's not recommended. Most of the time, OKR stands on the top 3 layer, but you can see the company which goes down in the art level too. I will take a pause here, and okay, I have some battery issue. So one thing that I wanted to ask you guys, that do you have any question related to this?
Is OKR closely aligned with SAFe framework?
Yes, this is like, if you see that multiple layers, it's a SAFe. I use the terms which are very similar to SAFe, solution level, value stream level, and enterprise level. It's not SAFe, like you can see that different organization does it differently. I can give you, this is one of the case study, you can think about it. Okay, so different layer, how they do it in the organization level.
So my question was, is it officially accepted, or is it officially aligned with SAFe? Does SAFe also promote these things?
So SAFe, in the SAFe, it is like initiative called as a epic if you go in the SAFe. So if you say that exact SAFe terms, all the solution value stream level initiative is epic actually. So if you, these are I will say that working example, but if you, I will say that that is that from SAFe, if you go to the working example, this is what it works like. Currently organization is doing this way.
Okay.
Because SAFe, reason why I didn't wanted to say that exactly promote SAFe, because SAFe in the portfolio level, it's called epic rather than initiative.
Yeah.
But if you see Go and Jira, epic is in the team level, right? That's why I was, but if you go to real-time example, this is what even the work item looks like: initiative, then capability, feature, and stories. And in the top level, you have the strategic theme, whether in the here you have that multi-year in strategic intent, then you define 1-year OKR, multi-year roadmap, then you define 1 year and quarterly OKR, and then you define that what is their iteration goals look like. I can see Frederick's hand.
Yeah, I just wanted to pick up on Jay's question about compatibility to SAFe. Yeah, I'm a SAFe coach, practicing for over 7 years now. I'm an SPC, and this is the area where I live in as a SAFe coach in transformation and organizational agility. But she's correct. Sujata is correct. It does align with SAFe, but as she pointed out, it's going to use different terminology. And of course, because SAFe is serving a slightly different purpose than OKRs. SAFe's main purpose is, solution and development and things like that, although it addresses organizations too. But just to point out, for example, in her wonderful slide here, in SAFe, the portfolio layer that she's pointing out and the solution layer, guys, for example, would be optional. And those
Yes.
two would depend on, the needs of the solution and the complexity of it. For example, those two. And solution level would be more, and SAFe would be more large solution, very complex, like NASA and robotics and things like that, and not just any solution.
Yeah.
And as you can see, as I've described in her slide, that's compatible with the way OKRs will work as well. So there
Yeah.
is a lot of compatibility. You can actually use this in safety. It's just that the terminology would.
Yeah, Fred, I am myself is a SAFe coach for same like about since 2017, so about same. So that's where exactly I was seeing a lot of alignment, but in the SAFe literature, I haven't yet seen any OKR mentioning. So that's where I was getting curious.
Yeah, that's why, yeah, SAFe, because if you see the SAFe, yeah, because SAFe, reason why I was hesitant, because this terminology, initiative, capability, those are not SAFe knowledge, and that's what exactly what
It's about
I said.
OKRs.
It's optional. Yeah, it's optional. Like these are like SAFe define it differently, epic and your work object. Yeah.
All right, that helps. Thanks,
So,
Fred and Sujata.
But yeah,
I just want to
that's
add one point to that comment. Just to add one
yeah, go,
point to
go ahead.
his comment, which is great. You don't see OKRs in SAFe, but actually you do. OKRs is the epic, right? In the epic, all of the fields and elements that Sujita laid out for an OKR are right in an epic, but a lot more too. So SAFe borrowed, actually. They actually what's the word? Adjusted, the definition for an epic to be that of an OKR. That's how strongly the influence of OKRs were on SAFe. So, so the OKRs and the definitions of it are all embedded in the epic level.
So I actually think that it's a little bit more than that. If we look at SAFe 6 and the documentation for SAFe 6, there's a lot more focus on business agility and bringing the strategy and execution part together. So how I interpret OKRs is that OKRs supplement that business agility endeavor within SAFe. So you've got your SAFe epic or the initiative, if let's say you're working in Jira, and that then ties back to the objective and the key results that we define in an OKR. So OKR is sort of like an umbrella that brings the strategy and execution world together. And I think it loosely ties to it. It does not recommend using OKRs, but there's a lot more focus on business agility in SAFe 6. And OKR is one way of realizing that goal of business agility. Does that make sense?
Yeah, just to add to what you guys were talking about recently, right? So SAFe 6.0, like you rightly said, has OKR, but that OKRs are at two parts. One is at the LPM level around the strategic themes, right? And the other one is around the implementation roadmap. I put a link in there for everybody. So in the implementation roadmap, how are you going to transform the organization using SAFe framework? So the Agile transformation roadmap, right? And then there is the strategic themes and roadmap where how are you going to define at high level? What are the OKRs going to be? What are the KPIs going to be? And then there is other metrics that follows through at the team level, which is the lean metrics. And you have like 6 metrics around that, distribution velocity and whatnot. Again, these are all recommendations. Not every, it doesn't say that you have to exactly use these metrics if you were to implement SAFe, but saying that, there at the team level, there is a different set of metrics. And then at the strategic level, there's a different set of metrics. And then overall at the business agility level, there is another set of metrics. It's called business agility metrics. So SAFe has kind of in 6.0 differentiated these different metrics around these different areas.
It's a great discussion, guys, and I think that
Perfect.
metrics discussion will
Good.
bring up my next topic also. But I do wanted to just that making sure that my last topic is KPI versus like that's a great discussion. Start metrics one there, but similar topic. But just to give that whole purpose of OKR is aligning your goal. What is your goal? Like everybody is doing work. Let's do work in the proper alignment on the work and tracking what we are doing, going to get the outcome. So next one is OKR tracking. So this is the now first you define it, then next you track it. This tracking you can do monthly, you can do track quarterly, but you have to track it where you say that what are the objective, what is the key result, what is the start value, what is the target value, what is the current value, based on that what is the progress looks like. And you also can have different weightage for different key results, so that you can say that this key result has the highest weightage versus this 2 key result is lower weightage. You can track that overall percentage based on that. And ideally, another thing I wanted to say that on the progress tracking, if you are constantly achieving 100% every time for your key result, probably you need to evaluate. Are you challenging yourself properly to achieve those key results or not? Look, if your success rate is 70 to 75%, you are actually then defining OKR, which is really good, which is aspirational, stretching your team to the different level. But if you know that anyways you're going to achieve and you're defining it, then question comes in, are you really inspiring your team to achieve it or not? And another thing related to that, I wanted to mention it. It should not be your business as usual work. It should not be OKR, should not be your maintenance work. It should be inspirational. It should be people should be you should drive your organization to achieve those objective or goal that you are looking for it. Next one topic. Last topic of this one is today's session is OKR and KPI. So KPI is as the name says, that key performance indicator. It is a quantitative measurement used to evaluate the success of the organization. So what are the difference of the OKR? I generally try to give if I need to tell everyone before even going to that, software IT terminology, I generally try to give an example where your goal probably where you are stating it that, my goal is to go to the destination. Where OKR, you can think it as a map, which states that how to go there. What are it doesn't say you exact that route, but you can see that map to reach the goal, my destination. This is the way we can go it.
KPI is quantitative measure.
Where the KPI is actually
the same for a long time. OKR supports.
Oh no, that's fine. Where the KPI is, you can think about that dashboard inside your probably your car, where you can see that do you have gas? Are you in the proper optimum speed? That is your KPI. In the terminology, if you see that a successful result-driven organization, you need both. Because if you don't have KPI, if you don't monitor that your dashboard or while going to your destination, you will not know that you have proper gas or not. Are you going the proper speed or not? Whereas OKR is giving you the path, how to reach your destination. So OKR cannot replace the KPI because both are serve the different purpose. But in the organization, you need both. OKR is outcome focused, where you are improving on the processes, you are driving the innovation, where KPI is mostly process focused. What are your performance look like? Or again, OKR support hierarchy, which we talked about that, and KPIs are most of the time is flat. Also, OKR is one can be dependent on another, which can be changed quarterly, yearly, where KPIs most of the time same for long period of time. OKR can be like one OKR can be actually supporting another OKR. It can happen where KPI is most of the time totally one different from one another. And one of the example for OKR and KPI I wanted to give also in the next slide, which may probably will give you a clear understanding what is the difference between OKR and KPI. Say our objective is improve customer satisfaction. That is my objective. I'm not writing in full sentence, just for blah, blah, blah. Where KPI is net promoter score, which I will measure to reach the objective. Where your target key result, you can say that I want to achieve net promoter score from net 70 to 80% for end of the quarter. That is your target. So you can think about that, how the KPI and OKR work together to make you like successful. So you can say that you can do an initiative which is working on improving your net promoter score, and you are constantly monthly or quarterly, you are measuring it, calculating your net NPS to get that, to see that are you getting your proper objective or target, are you reaching your target or not. Another example for that, KPI versus OKR, increase the sales revenue, where the KPI that you will be see to measure that objective is monthly sales quote percentage. And then target, you can say that, I want to increase that KPI 10%. That is my target or key result looks like. And then you compare previous month, next month, and you can see that, are you on track for that or not? So I hope these two examples make yourself clear for KPI versus OKR. But before I state, I think this is my last slide. Before I state a couple of things, I wanted to say that until you try writing OKR, best way to learn OKR is start writing OKR. Probably that. It's dot on time. I know that Frederick has a question. So probably if you guys anyone wants to drop off, feel free to drop off. I will stay a couple of more minutes to address more questions. And thank you everyone for joining. I really appreciate it. Have a nice weekend. Frederick, you have a question?
Just a clarification. I want to make sure I understand how you're positioning OKRs and KPIs here. I'm not sure it's this is one versus the other. The way we define OKRs is, in the key results we use. Do we not? We use KPIs.
Yes, it's not one versus
to help
the other.
define the key results of an OKR. Right. Okay. Just wanted.
No, it's not on. That's why I wrote that. Like you need both, because OKR is you are setting up the goal where you are measuring the KPI to reach the goal. You are setting up that what KPI, what is the improvement of KPI you need to reach the goal. And just to remember that not all the metrics are KPI. KPI is metrics, but not all the metrics are KPI. And one of the things that while defining OKR, do not try to refrain from writing what you are doing it as part of objective key result. That sometimes people do it. Okay, let's see that what are the stuff we are doing it and define OKR based on that. It should not be that. It should be other way. Let's see that what our priority looks like. What do you want to achieve? And then you will align your work based on that goal. This leads us end of the session, and I do wanted to hope this is helpful. I will definitely share the presentation with you guys and recording. And any further question, I'm happy to help you guys out. But have a wonderful weekend, guys.